So good morning. So this is a continuation of our discussion on estate tax. So this includes the inclusions or what are the items for inclusions in the gross estate. Ano-ano ba yung isasama natin? Remember our discussion previously on estate. These are the real and personal properties and IPP, okay, of the decedent. If RC, NRC, or RA, whether situated within or without, part siya ng gross estate. For non-resident alien, the only part is or are the properties located within the Philippines, including IPP. Pero yung IPP, apply natin yung rule on reciprocity. So basically, those are inclusions. And then, we will be discussing exclusions. What are the properties that should not form part of the gross estate? Kaya nga exclusion siya eh. We will exclude in computing the gross estate. And what are the transfers, okay, that are exempted from estate taxation? Okay, so yung mga itong dalawa na to basically are not subject to estate tax. So this item, the inclusions, is the one that is subject to estate tax. Okay, so pag-usapan natin isa-isa. Composition of gross estate under the tax code. We have residence interest. We have transfer in contemplation of death, revocable transfer, property passing under the general power of appointment, proceeds of life insurance, transfer for insufficient consideration, claims against insolvent persons, value of mortgage property, property previously taxed, and family home. Okay, and of course, the amount received by heirs under Republic Act 4917. So basically, yung mga note dito with asterisk are, although they are part of the gross estate, yan ay mga part of deductions then. Okay, so these are also deductible items, but before they can be allowed to be part of deductions, they must be added back to the gross estate. Okay? So, as I mentioned before, di ba sabi natin, ang gross estate, simply stated, these are real properties, personal properties, and intangible personal properties as a general rule. Pero if we are to look the definition under the gross estate, ito yung mga nakalagay. Okay, yung 1 to 11 na yan. These are the items of gross estate. But to sum it up, these items of gross estate basically may be real property, personal property, or intangible personal property. Okay, tulad ito, family home, real property yan. Okay, residence interest, pwede yan IPP. Halimbawa ng residence interest, these are the ownerships in a corporation or a partnership. Okay, revocable transfer, pwedeng personal property yan. Transfer in contemplation of death can be real property or personal property, depending on the type of property that was transferred. General power of appointment, pwedeng personal property or real property yan. Proceeds of life insurance, yan ay personal property. Transfer for insufficient consideration can be real property or personal property. Okay, or also intangible personal property if the shares of stock, obligations, or bonds were transferred for insufficient consideration. Claims against insolvent persons are receivables of personal property yan. Okay, value of mortgage property, so we're real property yan kung yan ay bahay. Kung yan ay sasakyan, personal property. Property previously tax, real property or personal, that was subjected to, of course, inheritance tax or estate tax before, or subjected to donation. Okay, so family home, real property, and amount received by heirs under RA 4917, it may include as a rule a personal property kasi it pertains to separation pay yan, so cash yan. Okay, so basically ito yung pinaka simplest term, pero yung complicated term, ito po yung 1 to 11. Now, let's discuss one by one these items of compositions of gross estate. So, residence interest. Decedent's interest is to the extent of the interest therein of the decedent at the time of his death. This refers to the value of any interest in property. Meron siyang interest in property or rights in favor of the deceased on or before his death. Okay? Kasi isasama natin sa estate to eh. Kaya lahat ng interest lamang during lifetime, which was accrued and received only after decedent's death. So examples of this one are dividends declared on or before the death of the stockholder and received by the estate after death. Okay. Number 2, so meron siyang interest sa dividends which were declared bago siya mamatay. Pag na-declare na yung dividends after death, okay, dito natanggap lang niya after death. But if the dividends were declared after death, ang dividends ay pag-aari na ng estate. Kung na-transfer na yung estate sa mga heirs ng decedent, then yung heirs na yung nagmamay-ari ng dividends. Yun ang difference dyan. Another example would be partnership's profit earned prior to the death of the partner received by the estate after the partner's death. So which means if a partner invested in a partnership and it earned income, okay, prior to death, yung share ni partner would form part of the gross estate because that's a decedent's interest. Okay? Of course, another example would be accrued interest and rents on or before the time of death. Kasi nga, bakit before the time of death? Prior to the time of death. Ayan, no? Kasi nga, yung estate pa rin ang nagmamay-ari. Yung decedent pa rin ang nagmamay-ari. Pag yan ay namatay na, any or all interest which have accrued thereafter shall belong to estate na magiging income tax purposes. Or it shall accrue directly to the heirs if the property was already divided or distributed to the heirs. Okay? So that's basically decedent's interest. So merong interest ang decedent natin. Okay, saan? Sa business or sa partnership. So kung nagpautang siya, interest also is part of the interest. And rents. Okay, kung meron man. So here, transfer in contemplation of death. Brothers and sisters, in contemplation of death. So feeling niya, mamamatay siya. General rule, to the extent of any interest therein, of which the decedent have on has at any time made a transfer by trust or otherwise in contemplation of or intended to take effect in possession or enjoyment at or after death, or of which he has at any time made a transfer by trust or otherwise, under which he has retained for his life or for any period which does not in fact end before his death. Ano yon? Number 1, the possession or enjoyment of or the right to the income. Possession or enjoyment yung kanina. Dito naman, right to the income from the property. Or the right, either alone or in conjunction with any person, may kahati, to designate the person who shall possess or enjoy the property or the income therefrom. What we are discussing, brothers and sisters, is an express provision under the tax code. Kaya medyo parang malalim siya. So, exception. In case of a bona fide sale, totoong sale, for an adequate and full consideration in money or money's worth, the transfer is not contemplation of death. So kung totoong sale naman siya, kasi this one is a transfer in contemplation of death. So if the transfer is true, okay, tapos binayaran ka ng hustong kabayaran, so the transfer is not in contemplation of death. It is a sale. It is an ordinary sale. Okay, at arm's length. So this is the rule in contemplation of death. So sa madaling salita mga kapatid, any transfer in contemplation of death, okay, is subject to estate tax. Bakit? Kasi binigay mo lang or transfer mo lang yung property mo because you felt that you are dying or a person is dying. Okay? If hindi ka naman mamatay, di mo naman ibibigay yan eh. So example of this one, the donor made the donation concurrently with the execution of the will. Ito ay isang sign that the transfer or the donation was made in contemplation of death kasi yung ginawa niyang donation, okay, sinabayan niya ng execution of will. So feeling niya mamamatay na siya. Kaya any transfer in that case, assuming the decedent died, okay, shall still form part of the gross estate. Bakit? It is a transfer in contemplation of death. Kahit na yan ay nagbayad ka pa ng donor's tax, walang pakialam tayo dyan. Kasi this is a donation. So you donated the property kasi it's like this eh. You think that you are dying. So you give the property already to this person. So if the donor died, okay, then it shall still form part of the gross estate kahit hindi na siya yung nagmay-ari, kahit dinonate na yan. Kasi sabi ng batas, hindi yan dapat subject sa donor's tax. Yan dapat ay subject sa estate tax sapagkat yan ay considered as transfer in contemplation of death. So why do we have this rule? Para po hindi tayo yung pandaraya ay maiwasan. Kasi kung ita-transfer mo yan, okay, hindi na yan supposedly sa estate tax. Hindi na yan subject. So it's one or the other. So in our case, okay, para hindi na subject sa donor's tax yan, sabi ng batas natin, isasama natin yan sa estate tax. Kaya yung mga mandadaya dito, halimbawa, if they want to get away from the payment of the estate tax, so they transferred already the property to another person, and the person died, okay, in relation to the fear of dying kasi in contemplation of death, so yan ay part ng gross estate. Now, another example would be, the donation was made due to the decedent's advanced age. Okay, 99 years old na siya. So, nag-donate siya. O di namatay siya because of the decedent's advanced age. Therefore, okay, hindi yan, yan ay subject pa rin sa estate tax. Bakit? In contemplation of death pa rin yan, sabi ng batas. Okay, 99 years old ka na ha. So, pag namatay ka, kahit dinonate mo yan, yan ay gross estate pa rin, subject sa estate tax. And or the decedent's known serious illness at the time of gift. Stage 4 cancer na nung dinonate yan. So, sabi ng batas natin, transfer in contemplation of death na yan. Kung feeling mo mamamatay ka, tapos you made a transfer, contemplation of death, part of the gross estate pa rin yan. You will not be exonerated notwithstanding payment of the donor's tax because the transaction as it is subject to estate tax and not donor's tax. Over the time between the making of a gift and the death of the donor was relatively close. Okay? So, yan ang mga sign na sinasabi ng batas natin. But of course, brothers and sisters, marami pa po dito yung mga situation wherein it can be interpreted as a transfer in contemplation of death. Basta importante, there is a fear or thought of death. Example, another example. So sabi nung sumakit ang ulo mo, so parang sumakit ang bewang mo. Tapos, ayun, pababa ng pababa. Okay, so feeling mo, yun nga, malala na yung sakit mo. So you googled what do you think is happening to you. So lumabas yung Google. Masakit ang ulo, masakit ang bewang, ginugel mo. Lumabas yung sakit, cancer daw yun. Natakot ka na ngayon that you are with COVID. So what you did is you transferred your property. You thought already of dying. Okay, so kung ganun yung sitwasyon, hindi yan transfer in contemplation of death. Kung halimbawa, hindi naman yan talaga nakakatakot, yung cause ng death mo, hindi yun yung sakit. Okay, yan ay subject to donor's tax, especially if you lived or you outlived the sakit. Okay, pero kung halimbawa, okay, the person died, part pa rin niya ng gross estate niya kasi in contemplation of death, even if the property was already transferred. Okay, so transfer in contemplation of death, so it presupposes that the decedent feared of dying. Okay, so transfer yung property. So kahit na transfer na yung property, part pa rin ng gross estate yan. So parang halimbawa, tinaningan na yung buhay mo. So sabi, 1 month ka na lang, mamamatay na. So ang ginawa mo, you transferred all your property. So if you died, even if you transferred all your property, under the rule, it shall still form part of your gross estate, subject pa rin yan sa estate tax, because they are considered transfer in contemplation of death. Okay, kung nabuhay ka, donor's tax yan, walang problema. So, the thing is, marami kasing kinds of transfers in estate tax. But this one, para ma-distinguish natin, this one is a transfer in contemplation of death. You thought of dying. So, sinabihan ka, yung example natin kanina, sinabihan ka ng doktor, may taning ka. Or, nagkaroon ng COVID. Tapos, critical case ka. So, you transfer the property already because you felt that you are gonna die. So, pag natuluyan ka, part pa rin yan ng gross estate. Or, merong nagtangka sa buhay mo, somebody sending you like messages ng death threat. Sabi niya, hindi ka nasisikatan ng araw. So, ang ginawa mo, bago pa sumikat yung araw, you started transferring the titles of your property to people. Dinonate mo na sila. So, pag halimbawa namatay yung donor, even if the same were subjected to donor's tax, okay? Kasi hindi naman donor daw yan, sabi ng batas natin. Yan ay subject sa estate tax under transfer in contemplation of death. So, part pa rin yan ng gross estate. Okay, next. Revocable transfer. Kanina, transfer in contemplation of death. I-identify natin yan. Contemplation of death ito, revocable transfer. Okay? To the extent of any interest therein of which the decedent has at any time made a transfer by the decedent alone or by the decedent in conjunction with any other person to alter, amend, revoke, or terminate, or where any such power is relinquished in contemplation of the decedent's death. Okay, note, the power to alter, amend, or revoke shall be considered to exist on the date of the decedent's death and shall be considered to have been given or the power exercised on the date of his death. Okay, so halimbawa si decedent meron siyang transfer that is subject to revocation. Pwede niyang bawiin anytime. Okay, so pag hindi niya nabawi daw yung power na yan during his lifetime, it shall be considered to have been given or in-exercise niya yan. Meaning, the presumption is, sabi ng batas natin, ni-revoke niya yung transfer na yan, kaya yan ay part ng gross estate. Okay, so halimbawa, bibigyan kita ng ganitong bagay. Okay, pag meron akong retain na power pertaining to that property, okay, revocable transfer yan. So, pwede ko yung bawiin at anytime, revocable transfer. Kaya part yun ng gross estate kasi nga, parang it's as if I am still the owner of that because I have the power. Okay? So, examples of revocable transfers include transfer with retention of interest, no full conveyance of ownership of property. Okay, so parang sa'yo muna to, pag kailangan ko, kukunin ko yan, revocable transfer yan. Ganun lang siya kasimple. So even if I have yet to get back the property in the form of transfer through revocation, sabi ng batas natin, it's as if the power is presumed to be exercised on the date of death. Okay, and of course, revocable trusts. So, yung revocable trust naman are trusts that can be revoked. So, parang halimbawa, yung revocable trust for income tax purposes. So, merong isang tao. Ang tawag natin sa tao na yon, trustor. Okay, meron siyang money or property. Money or property. Pinagkatiwala niya sa isang tao na mag-handle ng property. We call him the trustee. Okay, this is the trust itself, the money or the property. So, ito yung may-ari. Siya yung nasusunod kung anong gustong gawin, pero ito yung nagmamanage. Management lang to. Okay? So, binawi niya yung trust. Sabi niya, ay, ayoko na yung trust. Eh, di form part yan ng estate ng trustor. Bakit? Kasi revoke niya yan eh. Meron siyang retain na power pertaining to the administration and management of the trust. So, part na gross estate ni trustor yan. So, that is revocable transfer. Ano naman yung property falling or under the general power of appointment? Mga kapatid, meron tayong general power of appointment, meron tayong special power of appointment. Yung special power of appointment, as the term suggests, special yan. Okay, so dito naman, general power of appointment. Ano ba yan? So, general rule to the extent of any property passing under a general power of appointment exercised by the decedent throughout the following modes. Okay? Ang nag-exercise ng mga power na to, okay, ay decedent. Okay? Example, by will. Okay, through the following modes. Appointment to, a general power of appointment exercised by the decedent. So, merong power of appointment sa kanya exercised by the decedent. Bakit yun part ng gross estate? Kasi it's as if sa kanya yung property. Okay, so this person was appointed to take care of the property by will or by deed. Okay, executed in contemplation of or intended to take effect in possession or enjoyment at or after his death, or by deed under which he has retained for his life. Ayan, meron namang retention of power. Or any period not ascertainable without reference to his death, or for any period which does not in fact end before his death. Napaka-technical. Okay, that the possession or enjoyment of or the right to the income from the property. Okay, the right either alone or in conjunction with any person to designate the persons who shall possess or enjoy the property or the income therefrom. So that is the general rule. Exception. Pag totoong sale, in case of bona fide sale for an adequate and full consideration in money or money's worth, it won't pass under the general power of appointment because there is an adequate consideration. Binayaran ka ng sapat doon sa property na yan. Okay, so therefore, it shall not form part of the gross estate. Pero kung hindi yan bona fide sale and the property is described under property under GPA, then it shall still form part of the gross estate. So note, ano ba yung GPA na to, General Power of Appointment? Simpleng-simple. Yung lahat ng binasa natin ito hanggang dyan. Okay, ano pong ibig sabihin? General Power of Appointment is simply the right to designate the person who will succeed to the property of the prior decedent. So namatay, merong isa pang namatay. In favor of anybody, including himself, his estate, his creditors, or the creditors of his estate. So, sa madaling salita, ganito po yan. Okay? Halimbawa, si Inday ay may property. Binigay niya ang general power of appointment kay Nicanor. So, anong nakalagay sa general power of appointment? Ito. Okay? Sinabi niya sa kanyang will or deed. Sabi niya kay Nicanor, Nicanor, itong property ko na to, ikaw na ang bahala. Okay, gawin mo kung anong gusto mong gawin in favor of anybody. Okay, designate the person who will succeed to the property. Sabi niya, ikaw na ang bahala sa property na to. So, in this case, Inday designated Nicanor who will succeed her to the property. Okay, in favor of anybody. Sabi niya, bahala ka na kung anong gusto mong gawin. Pwede mong ibigay sa asawa mo yan, sa anak mo, kanino. Pwedeng sa'yo na lang din yan. Or sa estate mo. Okay? Or sa mga creditor. Okay? So, namatay si Inday. So, yung property, napunta kay Nicanor. So, in this case, Nicanor, okay, ay pagiging part yan ng kanyang gross estate. Because the property is under the general power of appointment. It's because Nicanor, okay, has unbridled power over the property. Pwede niya kasing gawin yan kahit anong gusto niya gawin. Kaya part yan ng gross estate niya. It's as if he is already the owner. Okay, so that is the concept of property under the general power of appointment. That is why it is part of the gross estate of the decedent. So, proceeds of life insurance. Okay, mga kapatid, life insurance to proceeds. Huwag natin kakalimutan. So, somebody took a life insurance and somebody received the proceeds. So, what is the rule? The general rule is that to the extent of the amount receivable by the estate or by the deceased, his executor, administrator, as insurance under policies taken out by the decedent upon his own life. So which means si decedent ay kumuha ng life insurance. Okay? Exceptions, meaning hindi part ng gross estate. Ito, general rule, part ng gross estate yan eh. To the extent of the amount receivable by the estate or the deceased. Okay? Sino yung merong receivable sa insurance? Yung estate o kaya yung namatay. O kaya yung kanyang executor or administrator. Okay? Nakinuha niya sa kanyang life insurance. So, halimbawa, kumuha si Nicanor ng life insurance. Sino yung beneficiary niya? Siya. O yung estate niya. O yung executor or administrator niya. Okay? Exceptions. So, kung gano'n na nangyari, yung proceeds shall form part of the gross estate. So, exceptions. Meaning, it shall not form part of the gross estate when the designation of the third person, okay, hindi yung kanyang estate, hindi executor, hindi administrator, is irrevocable. Yung is third person beneficiary, okay, hindi yung estate, executor, administrator, then it is no longer part of the gross estate. Irrevocable na eh, wala na siyang vested interest over the property. Okay, dalawa ang manner of the designating beneficiary, brothers and sisters. Revocable at saka irrevocable. So halimbawa, merong life insurance. Okay? Yung insured, pwede siya maglagay ng beneficiary dyan kahit sino. Well, hindi kahit sino because there are limitations under the insurance code of the Philippines. Okay? Ang requirement, dapat yung beneficiary mo, merong kang insurable interest na tinatawag. So, yung insurable interest is an interest whereby a person can benefit or lose something as a result of the death of the person. Okay? So, yon. Now, ang designation dalawa, irrevocable or irrevocable. Pag revocable, halimbawa, nilagay ka as beneficiary. Pag pwede niyang bawiin yung pagnilagay sa iyo as beneficiary, revocable yon. Part yan ng gross estate. Pero pag nilagay ka as irrevocable, wala nang karapatan doon si decedent kasi nga give up na niya yun eh. Wala na siyang vested rights over the life insurance because the designation is irrevocable. Kumbaga wala na siyang pakialam eh. Hindi na niya pwedeng baguhin yun. Okay, so hindi na yan part ng gross estate. Pero pag revocable, part pa rin yan kasi it's as if the property, the designation as beneficiary has been revoked. Okay, so yung parang kanina, in-exercise siya at the time of death, even if hindi siya in-exercise. Dito naman, it's as if yung designation of the beneficiary is revoked kung revocable yan at the time of death. Okay? Now, the proceeds or benefits are from SSS and GSIS, so hindi yan part ng gross estate. So ito ha, hindi part ng gross estate, hindi yan part ng gross estate. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng exception. So the proceeds are from a group insurance taken by the employer. Mga kapatid, hindi lang to gross estate. Ano ba itong group insurance taken by the employer? Mga kapatid, there are companies where yung lahat ng kanyang mga empleyado ay kinukuha niyang insurance. Under group insurance ang tawag dyan. Pag sinabing group insurance, mas mababa kasi ang premium dyan. So, para kanino napupunta yung proceeds? Yung proceeds were determined by the employer, okay, insured kung kanino niya gusto mapunta yan. So, it can be, the proceeds may go to the employees. Okay, so kung yan ay group insurance, okay, kinuha ng employer, individual to, tapos namatay, decedent nga. So, yung mga proceeds ng group insurance na yan, hindi yan part ng kanyang gross estate. Okay, bakit? Para kasi ba yung mga proceeds na yan? Sa mga empleyado. Kaya hindi niya yan dapat idagdag sa kanyang gross estate. Okay? Include in the gross estate. Ito yung sinimplify natin. Isasama natin sa gross estate if the beneficiary is revocable. Again, if the beneficiary of the life insurance is revocable, okay, pwedeng baguhin, or if the beneficiary of the estate is the estate itself, his administrator, or his executor. So parang ganito, halimbawa sabi ni Nicanor, kumuha ng life insurance policy, identified beneficiary, yung estate niya, kung mamamatay man siya, part ng yung makakakuha ng 5 million, yung kanyang estate, or 1 million. So kaya nga, part yan ng gross estate niya. Okay? Dito, sino yung nilagay niya beneficiary? Instead of himself or the estate, sinong nilagay niya? Yung administrator niya. Ang presumption dyan mga kapatid, pag nilagay ang pangalan ng administrator, hindi para literal na kay administrator yung proceeds pag namatay yung insured. Okay? Or kay executor. Nilagay lang sila dyan for purposes of convenience. Since they are the ones administrating or executing the provisions of the will in case of executor, okay? So, sila rin na magmamanage ng property. Okay, kaya part yun ng gross estate. Are we clear? So, when the designation of the beneficiary is not stated or is not clear, the insurance code assumes revocable designation, meaning it's as if it was the designation has been revoked. In addition, proceeds of life insurance taken out by the decedent on his own life, when included in the gross estate, shall be an exclusive property if the premiums were paid out of his exclusive funds. Alam naman natin yan during our discussion of property relationships. And shall be a conjugal property if the premiums were paid out of the conjugal funds. So, by analogy, part din yan ng community if the property were paid out of the community funds or common funds of the spouses. Okay? If the beneficiary who was irrevocably designated caused the death of the insured, the designation is considered revocable. Okay? Unless acted in self-defense. So mga kapatid, ang sabi natin kanina, dito, okay, if the designation is irrevocable here, hindi yan part ng gross estate. General rule yun. Or exception to the exception. Ito yon. Okay? If the beneficiary who was irrevocably designated, okay, siya yung dahilan ng pagkamatay ng insured, the designation is considered revocable. So, pag revocable yan, part yan ng gross estate ni decedent. Unless acted in self-defense. Mga kapatid, pag sinabi natin self-defense, okay, the designated beneficiary has killed the insured, okay, by self-defense. Meaning, example ng self-defense, yung insured, papatayin na siya. So, nangunahan niya, napatay pa rin niya. So, pwede pa rin siyang magmana dun sa life insurance. Irrevocably designated siya eh. So, sa kanya pa rin yon. So, hindi na part ng gross estate yan nung nagtangkang pumatay na insured. Okay? Or, halimbawa mga kapatid, yung insured, pinapatay niya yung isang tao. Halimbawa si Nicanor, siya yung insured. Okay? Pinapatay niya si Inday. Okay? Itong si beneficiary na irrevocably designated. Okay? Pinagtanggol niya ngayon si Inday. Ang tawag diyan, self-defense of stranger. Pinagtanggol niya si Inday kasi papatayin niya eh. So bago niya patayin, pinatay niya ngayon si Nicanor. So because the beneficiary wanted to save Inday. So in this case, since Ben acted in self-defense of a stranger, so yan ay pwede pa rin na magmana si beneficiary. Pagkatapos, yan ay hindi na part ng gross estate ni Nicanor sapagkat irrevocable ang designation. Okay, so yung una, self-defense on the part of the beneficiary ha. Siya yung pinapatay mismo ni Nicanor. So si Nicanor, pinapatay niya si beneficiary. So ang ginawa ni beneficiary, inunahan niya. So ano pa rin siya? Since irrevocable designation, mamanahin pa rin ni beneficiary yan. Si Nicanor, not part of the gross estate niya yan. Okay, pangalawa ito ha, self-defense of himself. Dito, self-defense of stranger. Yung isa naman, self-defense of property. Example, si Nicanor, okay, kumuha ng life insurance, si beneficiary, irrevocable designation. Tapos, mayroong property si Inday. Okay, susunugin ni Nicanor yung property. Okay, ang ginawa ni beneficiary, pinigilan niya si Nicanor na sunugin yung property. Napatay niya ngayon si Nicanor. Irrevocable yung designation. Can the beneficiary still receive the proceeds? Yes. Okay. Magiging part pa ba ng gross estate ni Nicanor yun? Hindi na. Bakit? Kasi the designation shall remain irrevocable pa rin and shall not be considered revoked kasi nga the beneficiary merely acted in self-defense. So defense of himself, defense of stranger, and the last one is defense of property. Okay? So proceeds from property insurance are part of the gross estate considered as interest yan. Ito kasi ay life insurance. So dito, property insurance. So itong property insurance fall under non-life. Okay, so marine life, okay, tapos meron pa dyan yung halimbawa sa mga sasakyan, sa mga bahay. So yan ang mga non-life. Okay, so sa life insurance, kasama dyan yung health and accident also. Of course, namatay siya kasi nga part of the gross estate eh. Okay? So, ito naman is a transfer for insufficient consideration. Okay? So, transfer niya, kaya lang, sa mababang halaga, insufficient consideration. So, if any one of the transfers, trust, interest, rights, or powers is made, created, exercised, or relinquished for a consideration. Okay? Nag-transfer siya, trust, interest, or rights, or powers. Okay? Nirelinquish niya yung power na yan for a consideration. May bayad in money or money's worth, meaning property other than money. Hindi totoong sale, not a bona fide sale. Okay? For an adequate and full consideration, hindi sapat na kabayaran. There shall be included in the gross estate only the excess of the fair market value, okay, at the time of death of the property otherwise to be included on account of such transaction over the value of the consideration received, therefore, by the decedent. Okay? Hindi, again, the part that will the one that will form part of the gross estate is only the excess, yung labis, okay, of the fair market value at the time of death, okay, at the time of death of the property, fair market value of the property otherwise to be included on account of such transaction over the value of the consideration or the selling price. Okay? So example po dyan. If the transfer is a bona fide sale, totoong sale siya for an adequate and full consideration in money or money's worth, not part of the gross estate. So halimbawa, yung sasakyan. Okay, house and lot. Yung house and lot, okay, bahay at lupa, nagkakahalaga ng 5 million. Sold. For how much? 5 million. Bona fide sale yan. Adequate and full consideration eh. Walang transfer for insufficient consideration yan, assuming Nicanor will die or Nicanor died already. So halimbawa, last week, binenta ni Nicanor yung kanyang property na bahay, 5 million. Okay? 5 million ang consideration. So, hindi na yan part ng gross estate ni Nicanor kung mamatay siya ngayon. Okay? Bakit? Kasi bona fide sale yan. Totoong sale yan eh. Paano naman? If there was no consideration. Okay? If there was no consideration, the value to be included in the gross estate shall be fair market value of the property at the time of death. So, yung bahay at lupa, okay, 5 million. No consideration daw. So, parang in effect, donation yan. Transfer for insufficient consideration yan. So, yung 5 million, part ng gross estate. Mga kapatid ha, iba yung transfer for insufficient consideration sa in contemplation of death. Kasi yung in contemplation of death, ito ay transfer because of the thought of death. The motive is feeling niya kasi mamamatay siya. Ito namang transfer for insufficient consideration, transfer nga niya to pero hindi sapat ang consideration. Okay, alin ang magiging part ng gross estate? Ang sabi natin kanina, the portion that will form part of the gross estate is the excess of the fair market value only of the property over the consideration received, kung magkano yung tinanggap, yung diferensya. Okay? So, ito yung example doon. If consideration is less than the fair market value, so mas mataas ang fair market value, include in the gross estate the excess of the fair market value at the time of death over the consideration, but also include as part of the gross estate the consideration received. So halimbawa mga kapatid, itong bahay, wag ng bahay, sasakyan na lang po. Halimbawa, sasakyan. Okay. So, yan ang sasakyan. Nagkakahalaga ng 2 million pesos. Ibinenta ni Nicanor. Okay, pag-aari ni Nicanor. Ibinenta niya kay Inday sa halagang 10,000 pesos. Gawin na natin 100 para medyo dikit. So, is this a transfer for insufficient consideration? Yes. Yan ay, sabihin na natin bona fide sale. Pero, yan ba ay adequate and full consideration? Hindi. Transfer for insufficient consideration, value 2 million, tapos bebenta mo lang 100,000. Transfer for insufficient consideration yan. So, alin ang part which should be included in the gross estate assuming Nicanor already died? So, 2 million minus 100,000. So, yung 1.9 million ay part ng gross estate. Yan yung transfer for insufficient, 1.8 million ang transfer for insufficient consideration. Okay? Clear? So, the difference between the fair market value at the time of death versus the consideration received shall form part of the gross estate. Anong ibig kong sabihin dito? Di ba binenta niya yung lupa ay bahay, yung 100,000 pala talaga. So 100,000, 1.9 million nga. Okay? Again, para hindi tayo malito. So the property is valued 2 million pesos. This is the car owned by Nicanor. Sold to Inday. Magkano? 100,000. Okay, so this is the selling price. So the difference of 1.9 million, okay, the difference of the 1.9 million shall form part of the gross estate. Ito ay part ng gross estate. Kasi excess yan ng fair market value over the consideration or the selling price. Sabi rito, but also include as part of the gross estate the consideration received. Kasi ito, di ba, binenta ni Nicanor yung property, 100,000. So itong cash na to, part pa rin niya ng gross estate niya under cash. Okay? So ito, ang classification natin dito, transfer for insufficient consideration. So plus cash. Magkano yung cash? 100,000. So magkano talaga yung part ng gross estate? 2 million. Okay? This is the concept under transfer for insufficient consideration. So huwag nyo kakalimutan ha, pag may tinanggap na cash, part ng gross estate yan. Kasi yung iba, ito lang yung dinadagdag nila, transfer for insufficient consideration. So sa madaling salita, okay, just to clarify, if the question is about how much is the amount to be reported as part of the transfer for insufficient consideration, ang sagot natin dyan, 1.9 million. Kasi ito lang talaga yung transfer for insufficient consideration. Okay, yung difference between the fair market value and the selling price. Pero pag tinanong tayo, how much is the total gross estate which should be reported? E di yung 1.9 na transfer for insufficient consideration plus 100,000 actual consideration. So total value of which is 2 million pesos. Okay, I hope I am clear on this one. So other items of gross estate, claims of the deceased against insolvent person. So ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na mga items of deduction, but before they can be claimed as a deduction, they should form part of the gross estate. So ang sabi dito, number 1, claims of the deceased against insolvent persons. So this is essentially a receivable. A claims against an insolvent person must be reported as part of the gross estate in the full amount of the receivable. So ang pautang doon sa bankrupt na tao or insolvent person, 1 million. So hindi muna natin siya ilalagay as deduction, ilagay muna natin siya part ng gross estate. They should be reported as an exclusive or a conjugal property depending on whether the claim is derived from exclusive or a conjugal property. That's a given. Okay, number 2, more value of mortgage property undiminished by the mortgage or indebtedness. Anong ibig sabihin ng number 2? Ito po yan. Halimbawa, value ng property 2 million. Nangutang si Nicanor sa bank. Nagbigay lang ng 1 million. So ang mortgage 1 million. Okay? Magkano yung i-report natin for as part of gross estate? Gross estate 2 million. Tapos less mortgage, magkano? 1 million. Okay, so ito gross estate yan, part ng gross estate. Itong 1 million, deduction po yan. Okay, hindi siya yung 1 million ang ilalagay natin. It is the value of the mortgage undiminished by mortgage. Kung magkano talaga yung value ng property. Okay, so what if the property, itong property na value ay 2 million, itong bahay ay 2 million. Okay? Nangutang ng 2 million din. Magkano yung part ng gross estate? Eh di 2 million. Magkano yung deduction? Eh di 2 million din. So offsetting siya. Clear? So paano naman kung baliktad? Value ng property 1 million. Nakautang ng 2 million. Magkano yung part ng gross estate natin? 1 million. Magkano yung deduction natin? 1 million lang din. Remember, under the rule on succession, the property rights and obligations, right, to the extent of the value of inheritance. So to the extent of the value of 1 million lamang ang deduction. Okay? Kasi hindi naman liable to pay yung heirs as to the excess of the 1 million unless meron pang other property secured by the creditor. So property previously taxed, idadagdag muna natin siya part ng gross estate bago natin siya babawasan. So halimbawa, itong property previously taxed for purposes of our discussion kasi supposedly itong mga to pag-uusapan natin under deduction. Pero just for you to have an idea, advanced idea on what is property previously taxed, as the term suggests, dati nang natax yan. So halimbawa, si Nicanor, merong property, namatay siya. Napunta yung property na to kay Inday na kanyang asawa. Okay? Nung namatay siya, nagbayad na ng estate tax. So, napunta ngayon kay Inday yung property. Okay? Tapos, si Inday ay namatay din. So, yung property na ito, na naitax na, anong gagawin natin? Part siya ng gross estate ni Inday. Gross estate niya. Anong gagawin? Ibabawas din natin as deduction yung property previously taxed. Okay, kasi nagbayad na ito nung nakaraan eh. So, ibabawas din natin yung corresponding decrease, which we will be discussing later pagdating natin sa deduction. Okay? So, yan po yan. Let's go to family home naman. Ano naman tong family home? Okay, deduction din yan. So, halimbawa, meron kayong bahay at lupa, okay, we call family home. In income tax, we call that normally principal residence. So, dito kayo nakatira yung family nyo, kaya nga family home eh. So, halimbawa, ang value niyan is 5 million. Okay? Ngayon, bago siya maging deduction, kailangan part muna siya ng gross estate. I-add back muna natin siya. Pero, yung family home should be based from the fair market value. Kasi itong deduction, meron siyang limit. So halimbawa, ang family home natin nagkakahalaga ng 20 million. Rich kid tayo eh. So, 20 million yan. Ang gross estate, 20 million. Magkano yung deduction? Pwedeng 10 million yan kung conjugal. So, gross net estate, 10 million lang din. Net estate. Okay, so ang concept nito, again, before siya maging deduction, i-add back siya. Pero based sa fair market value. Okay? So number 5, amount received by heirs under RA 4917. So this amount received from dissident's employer. Okay? Yung employer nung namatay. As a consequence of the death of the dissident employee shall be included in the gross estate of the dissident, which will be deducted from gross estate. Mga kapatid, itong RA 4917, okay, reviewin ko lang kayo ng konti dito. Kasi, just to give you an idea of what is RA 4917. I'm not sure if you were able to discuss the exclusions from gross income for income tax purposes. Okay? Pag sinabing exclusions, these are not part of the items of gross income. Therefore, exempted yan for taxation purposes. So, yung separation pay, okay? Separation pay ay exempted for income tax purposes. Income tax to ha, hindi muna estate. Okay? Yan ay exempted kung dahil dito sa apat na to. Death of the employee, any cause beyond the control, serious sickness, at saka other physical disability. Explain ko lang ng konti. Halimbawa po yung isang empleyado namatay sa trabaho. By reason, so namatay siya. Binigyan siya ngayon ng separation pay ng employer niya. Yung binayad, halimbawa, 100,000 binigay sa pamilya. Okay? Exempted yan for income tax purposes. Bakit? Separation pay by reason of death. Itong 100,000 na to ay part ng gross estate. Ayan siya, amount received by the heirs under 4917. Okay? Now, i-add na rin natin to sa discussion lang para at least alam nyo lang. Any cost beyond the control of the employee, halimbawa, na bankrupt si employer. So, tatanggalin na si employee sa trabaho. So, binigyan pa rin siya ng separation pay. Exempted yan by reason of any cost beyond the control of the employee. Involuntary yan eh. Serious sickness. Sobrang sakit na ng sakit niya. Tinanggal siya. Binigyan separation pay. Exempted sa income tax. Other physical disability, driver siya, naputulan ng dalawang kamay, tinanggal siya sa trabaho, binigyan ng separation pay. Yung separation pay, let's say na 100,000 din, okay, ay exempted from taxation. Hindi siya subject sa income tax. Pero dito sa apat na to, sa daso na to, yung payments received by the heirs na 100,000 as a result of the death of the employee, part yan ng gross estate, i-report siya. Pero okay lang, bakit? Gross estate, magkano? 100,000. Deduction, magkano? 100,000 din. So, magkano yung tinatax? Wala. So, this one is merely for purposes of reporting. Okay? So, exemptions of certain acquisitions and transmissions, mga kapatid. So, itong kanina, pinag-usapan natin are items or inclusions from gross estate. Lahat ng mga yan ay item ng gross estate, idadagdag natin. So, itong mga to ay real or in the form of real properties, personal properties, or intangible personal properties. Okay? Itong mga to ay acquisitions and transmissions. So, meaning, the dissident was able to acquire this property or these properties were transmitted pero exempted yan sa taxation. So, hindi yan part ng gross estate. Ano yan itong mga to? Number 1, the merger of usufruct in the owner of the naked title. Brothers and sisters, when I was studying, hindi ko maintindihan to. Grabe. The merger of the usufruct in the owner of the naked title. But I really like how it sounds. the merger of usufruct in the owner of the naked title. Even if how many times would I read the provision pertaining to this one, ang hirap niya para sa akin, pero gustong-gusto ko siya narinig. Nakwento ko lang naman. So it is an example of acquisition and transmission or transmission that is exempted from estate taxation. The next one is transmission from the first heir, legatee or donee, or in favor of another beneficiary in accordance with the desire of the predecessor. Okay? Number 3, the transmission or delivery of the inheritance or legacy by the fiduciary heir or legatee to the fideikommissary. Halos parehas tong dalawa na to. Okay? Essentially, parehas yan. May konting pagbabago lang. Number 4, the last one, all bequests. Alam na natin ang ibig sabihin ng bequest. Remember, it is a gift of personal property through a will, device. It is a gift of real property through a will. Ayan ang legacy. Parehas nitong bequest. Or transfers to social welfare. Okay, mga donations. Social welfare, cultural, charitable. Ito yung importante, no part of the net income which goes to the benefit of any individual. So, dapat non-stock, non-profit talaga yan. Provided that not more than 30% of the said bequest, devices, legacies, or transfers shall be used by such institutions for administrative purposes. So, exemption tong mga to. Ibig sabihin, strictly construed against the taxpayer. If hindi natupad yung mga yan, magiging taxable, part ng gross estate. Okay, explain natin isa-isa. Illustration of number 1, the merger of usufruct in the owner of the naked title. Okay, so halimbawa si Nicanor. Meron siyang bahay at lupa. Okay, so meron siyang tagapagmana, si Inday at saka si Junior. Gumawa ng will si Nicanor. Sabi niya, yung property ko na to, gusto ko magmay-ari dito si Junior. Pero habang nabubuhay ang aking mahal na asawa, si Inday, pwede niyang gamitin ang bahay na ito. Bakit may ganitong usapan? Kasi baka mamaya, kung sabi niya, ibibigay niya yung property niya kay Junior, baka itong si Junior, palayasin niya si Inday. Di ba meron mga ganyang story? Yung mga walang kwentang anak, palalayasin ng magulang pag hindi na nila mapakinabangan. Okay, so ito yung naging rule. Ito yung usapan. According to Nicanor, he wanted his property to be owned by Junior, his son. But throughout Inday's lifetime, she can use the property. So namatay ngayon si Nicanor. Nung namatay siya, this property was subjected to estate tax. So, yung property ngayon napunta kay Junior. Ang tawag sa pag-aari ni Junior ay naked title. Okay? Now, yung usufruct, yung use, na kay Inday. Pwedeng gamitin ni Inday yung property. Pero ang may-ari, naked title, si Junior. Now, anong nangyari ngayon? Si Inday ay namatay. Hindi po ba sabi ni Nicanor, pwedeng gamitin ni Inday yung property hanggang siya ay nabubuhay. So, nung namatay si Inday, itong usufructuary ay napunta ngayon kay Junior. So, in this case, there is now a merger of the usufruct with the owner of the naked title. So, yung transfer ng usufruct or the merger of the usufruct in the owner of the naked title is not part of the gross estate. Why? It is an exempted acquisition and transmission. Okay. Ang cute, no? So, the transmission from the first heir, legatee or donee or in favor of another beneficiary in accordance with the desire of the predecessor. Katulad yan nung dito po. Sabi ko sa inyo kanina, the transmission or delivery of the inheritance or legacy by the fiduciary heir or legatee to the fideikommissary. It's like this. Okay? Halimbawa si Nicanor. Okay? Meron siyang bahay at lupa. Tapos anak niya si Junior at anak naman ni Junior si the third. So sabi ni Canor, sabi niya, ang gusto niya itong bahay at lupa ay mapupunta kay the third. So that is the real intention for the property to go to the third. Pero pinadaan niya yan kay Junior. Bakit niya pinadaan? It can be that the third is a minor. Okay? So, at saka anak naman ni Nicanor, si Junior. So sabi niya, Junior, hawakan mo muna tong property na to pag malaki na si the third or of legal age na siya, ibigay mo sa kanya yung property because that is my desire. Now, namatay ngayon si Nicanor. Okay? So, napunta ngayon kay Junior yung property. Tanong, si Junior ba yung may-ari ng property? Hindi. Okay? So, yung kay Nicanor ha, meron tayong estate tax dyan. Okay? Nung namatay siya, napunta ngayon kay Junior yung property. But the question again is Junior the owner of the property? No. Okay? Now, what happened to Junior eventually? Namatay din si Junior. So, yung property, okay, eventually, napunta kay the third. Remember, anak ni Junior, si the third. So, tagapagbana niya talaga si the third. So, yung property, nilipat na kay the third. So, in case of death of Junior, is it subject to estate tax? Is it part of the gross estate of Junior? Hindi. Bakit? Hindi siya property. So, therefore, the transmission of the property from Junior to the third, okay, is no longer, it is an exempt transmission and acquisition of the property. Okay? Itong pangatlo, parehas din yan nung kanina. Okay? Yung story natin, merong property si Nicanor, bahay at lupa, merong siya halimbawa dito si Junior, hindi si Junior, let's say si Inday. Okay? Halimbawa, ibang kamag-anak to, si Jose. Pagkatapos, dito si the third. Ultimate objective of Nicanor is for the property to go to the third. Pinadaan kay Jose. Ang relationship ay merong 1 degree. Okay, plus 1 degree. Okay, sorry. Wag nang ano. Okay. The relationship is over 1 degree. Dito kasi po, dito, yung kanina, ito 1 degree of relationship lang to eh. From Nicanor to Junior, from Junior to the third, ito 1 degree yan, ito 1 degree. So dito, more than 1. More than 1 degree siya. So pwedeng si Jose ay tito ni the third. Okay? Kasi kung tito niya yan, di ba, ang bilang natin, aakyat muna, pag ganun siya. So halimbawa, this is third, tatay ni the third, eto si Nicanor, eto si Jose. Kapatid ng tatay niya, tito niya. So, 1, 2, 3, third degree. So, more than 1 degree yan, di ba? So, yan ang mangyayari dyan. The transmission or delivery of the inheritance or legacy by the fiduciary heir or legatee to the fiduciary. Meaning, nung namatay si Nicanor dito, subject sa estate tax yan. Nung namatay si Jose, okay, yung property napunta kay the third. Yan ay exemption, exempt acquisition and transmission. Okay? The only difference is yung kanina ay yung more than 1 degree of relationship. The last one, all bequests, devices, legacies, or transfers to social welfare, cultural, and charitable institutions, no part of the net income of which goes to the benefit of any individual. So, dito muna tayo. Normally, ang binabanggit ng mga organization dito, social welfare, cultural, charitable, ito yung mga tinatawag nating simple non-stock, non-profit organization or NGO. Okay? Now, if you make a donation to this non-stock non-profit organization or NGO, dapat no part of the net income goes to the benefit of any individual. Meaning, ito yung mga board of trustees, they don't earn income from the operations of the NSP, non-stock non-profit or NGO. Pag meron silang sweldo, taxable yan. Okay, magiging part ng gross estate yan. So, in order for the transmission of the property, the bequest, the device, legacy, or transfer to be exempted, dapat no part of the net income benefits any individual in that non-stock, non-profit organization. Pag meron ng benefit, part of the gross estate na yan. Now, there's another provision, okay, or a requirement. Provided, however, that not more than 30% of the said bequest, devices, or legacies or transfers shall be used by such institution for administrative purposes. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin? So, halimbawa, the legacy is 1 million pesos. Binigay ni Nicanor sa foundation, okay? Or NGO is 1 million pesos. The maximum amount that can be used for administrative purposes is 300,000. Okay? Ito yung administrative expense. So example, pasweldo, rental expense, ito yung mga transportation, okay? Lahat ng administrative expenses should not exceed 300,000. Pag ang donation or legacy or device, hindi pala device kasi money pala yan, the bequest or legacy or transfer of the 1 million pesos, nag-exceed siya, halimbawa ginamit yung 1 million, 50% ginamit sa admin, 500,000. Mga kapatid, the whole 1 million shall form part of the gross estate of the decedent. Medyo corny ito kasi patay na siya, hindi naman niya alam kung magkano yung kung paano ginamit yan ng decedent, di ba? Yung property. Yung binigay niyang 1 million. Malay ba niya kung magkano yung gagamitin sa admin purposes? Including yung mga heirs. Malay ba nila kung magkano yung binigay? O yung magkano yung ginamit sa binigay? Ilang percentage? But anyway, regardless, kahit na it would seem illogical for the decedent, the estate, and the heirs. Okay? Kasi they cannot really, for all intents and purposes, determine magkano na ba yung ginastos. Kasi kabibigay mo lang ngayon binigay namatay si Nicanor. Binigay yung 1 million doon sa NGO. O kaya nagbigay ng 1 million bago mamatay. Kasi device yan. Hindi, device pala to, will pala to. So, namatay, binigay yung will ng 1 million pesos. Okay? So, paano niya malalaman na yung 1 million talaga ay 30% lang ginamit for admin purposes? Right? But anyway, sabi ng batas natin, yung transmission na yan, okay, 1 million given to non-stock non-profit, to the NGO, or to the foundation is exempted, okay, from estate tax. Basta yung mga provision na yan ay na-follow. That means, no part of the net income goes to the benefit of any individual of that organization, and that not more than 30% of the said bequest, device, legacies, or transfers shall be used by such institution for administrative purposes. Okay? So other exemptions and exclusions from gross estate, bequest to be used actually directly and exclusively for educational purposes. Okay? ADE, actually, directly and exclusively, okay, for educational purposes, exempted yan from gross estate. Meaning, it will no longer be subjected to estate tax. Pag educational kasi talagang exempted yan, including for income tax purposes. Okay? Income, even from profit activity of a non-stock, non-profit educational institution, exempted yan. Okay? So, any donation, bequests, for educational purposes, halimbawa, si Nicanor nagbigay ng 1 million sa school natin to be used by the school, actually, directly, exclusively for educational purposes, let's say scholarship, or for the purchase of new computers, yan ay exempted from gross estate. Proceeds of life insurance and the beneficiary is irrevocably appointed or designated. Natural, sabi natin, wala na kasing ano yan eh. Wala na siyang vested interest dyan. And of course, under a group insurance taken by the employer in favor of the employee. I discussed this already under process of life insurance, group insurance, okay? Transfer by way of bona fide sale. Yung property, okay, fair market value of property, 5 million. Magkano mong binenta? 5 million. Totoong sale siya. There's no transfer for insufficient consideration, and so therefore, hindi itong transfer na to ay hindi na subject sa estate tax. Pero itong consideration na to, selling price, part yan ng gross estate, ha? Part ito ng gross estate kasi you receive cash. Next, properties held in trust by the decedent, mga kapatid. Held in trust by the decedent. Ulitin natin to. So, merong isang tao, si trustor, meron siyang money or property, pinagkatiwala kay trustee. Number 4, properties held in trust by the decedent. Namatay si trustee. Itong property na to, hindi niya part na gross estate. Bakit? Hindi kasi sa kanya to. Kanino yan? Kay trustor yan eh. Okay. Next. Separate property, capital of husband or paraphernal property of the wife. Okay. Ang tawag sa share ni husband, capital. Ang tawag naman sa share ni wife ay paraphernal. Okay, di ba conjugal at saka community tayo? Share of the husband, capital. Share of the wife, paraphernal. So, hindi yan part ng gross estate. Bakit? Kasi surviving siya. Buhay pa siya eh. Hindi yan subject sa estate tax. And again, exemptions due to reciprocity. Anong sabi natin sa rule on reciprocity? Yung IPP ng isang non-resident alien, IPP of a non-resident alien, okay, ay exempt natin, okay, or i-tax natin depende sa IPP ng isang resident citizen, okay, sa bansa ng non-resident alien, okay, sa bansa ng non-resident alien. So, halimbawa, again, si resident citizen, si Nicanor, meron siyang shares of stock sa Amerika. Okay? Ito naman, si non-resident alien, meron siyang shares of stock dito sa Pilipinas, sa domestic corporation. Yung IPP ni non-resident alien, i-exempt natin pag in-exempt nila si IPP ni RC sa Amerika or kung saan man bansa yan. Tapos, itatax din natin ito. Okay, yung IPP ng non-resident alien dito. Pag tinax ng bansa ni INRA ang IPP na pag-aari ni RC in that foreign country. Okay, so kung in-exempt nila yan, exemption due to reciprocity, i-exempt din natin ang IPP ni non-resident alien. Exemptions from special laws. Benefits received from SSS or GSIS, so which means if an employee from the private sector or the government received money or benefit from them, it shall not be subjected to gross estate already. Benefits received from U.S. Veterans Administration, it is exempted under the special law. These are basically benefits given by the USVA on Filipino citizens who fought side by side with American forces during World War II. Number 3, war benefits given by the Philippine government and U.S. government due to damage suffered during the war, World War II po yan. Grants and donations to the Intramuros administration by virtue of special law. Personal equity and retirement account assets of the contributor, meaning, let's say, Nicanor, nag-contribute siya into pera, okay, personal equity retirement account, and then this pera, this account or the money contributed by the contributor is invested by the trustee, okay? So yan, okay? Yung asset na yan. okay, contributed, of course, by the contributor, shall not form part of the gross estate because they are exempted from special law. Ito yung pera law. So basically, this is the end of our, the second part of our presentation. So thank you.